Hello? Hello? Okay. Testing the sound. Alrighty. So I am on here today because I want to talk about something really, really profound. The fact that I am growing, you are growing, we all are growing. And let's say you have a certain situation or a certain habit pattern or way of being that is not working out for you right now in your life. Like me. For example, my set of circumstances that I am working with and habit patterns that I'm trying to overcome in my life because of certain things I'm trying to do for a sustainable long-term way of living my life. And so in my life, I have been, I just want to say, compulsive over certain things, redoing certain things, sort of obsessive with things in my life and taking care of things and repeatedly feeding those same habit patterns that don't work out for me anymore. They do work on a temporary basis. However, it's an endless cycle. And once something happens, it needs to be fed in a way where you can't deny it, you can't ignore it. And it is ongoing. And I'm doing this live stream for a couple of reasons, and I think one of them is the fact that we are talking on a full moon in Capricorn. Capricorn asks you, as a sign, as a zodiac sign, what will work for the long term? What is sustainable? What will make you feel happy, healthy, and in a productive state of being? And Capricorn is also ruled by Saturn. And it does ask you and say, if you want to change, if you want to grow, it requires a lot of hard work. And so this full moon may be illuminating where you are not putting in the work, where you are not putting in the time and the effort, and in what area of your life are you not maturing or being responsible. And this could be for change. This could be in whatever house that the full moon in Capricorn falls in for you. For me, this falls in my second house as a Sagittarius rising. As an Aries sun, it falls in my 10th house. And as a Libra moon, it would fall in my 4th house. Because let's just take the rising sign, for example. Whatever your rising sign is, that is your first house automatically. So if you're a Sagittarius rising like myself, Sagittarius would be the first house, Capricorn would be the second house, and so on and so forth until you go all throughout the zodiac signs from the first house to the 12th house. And that is what happens because there's 12 houses, 12 signs. So that is a little astrology tidbit. But anyway, now is a good time to look around at your life and say, is there anything that needs to shift? Is there any area of my life that I am not being responsible? That I am not doing the hard work to change? That I say, and this is something that I live with, is that I say that I'm going to do something. I say that this is going to change. I say that I'm going to do something differently or approach something differently or live in a different way or take the steps to change. That doesn't happen because I give in to the same habit patterns for various reasons, and I don't want to rack my brain around the reasons. But potentially, when you feel like your abundance is finite and fragile, then it can make life more difficult. And so, when your abundance is, when you feel like your sense of feeling abundance is finite and fragile, when it takes you to do certain things in order to feel abundant. You have to do these things in order to feel good, grateful, all these kinds of things. And these things, you need to do them in a certain way. Otherwise, you're not going to feel secure, abundant, etc. Now, what's also coming to me is all suffering leads to attachment. Suffering, attachment to an idea, to a belief, to a something that you're doing that is causing you to suffer. And so when you release the attachment of things being a certain way, then it can really do wonders for yourself. You are helping yourself when you can do that. When you can release that attachment, let go of things being a certain way. Trust that things are fine as they are. Have faith. Use logic. And I also want to say, being here and now. There is this really huge part of me that is sitting here on this live stream that is feeling not enough. I've not done enough. I need to prove to myself that I can grow and change in a bigger way than I have before. And there is this huge part of me that actually is waiting for the next shoe to fall off the shelf. I'm waiting for the next issue to happen, the next thing to go wrong, the next person to give me a hard time for this next issue, for this next problem that I have to deal with. I have been in that mindset of waiting, of being very cautious, of being very attuned to that. But when you find yourself engaging in a negative habit pattern that you fall into when something goes wrong, I think a very helpful strategy is to call it out. Oh, I'm doing this thing again. I'm going to reroute myself on a new path. Rerouting yourself on a brand new path may not be comfortable. And I am fully aware that it's not going to be easy and it's not going to be comfortable. It's going to take hard work, persistence, determination, and I may be feeling a lot of regret. And I do have a lot of regret. I am sitting here feeling regret for not having the mindset to grow and change in a way that I will try to eliminate any habit pattern that I can when it comes to what is reasonable. And I wish that I put in the work earlier. And I wish that I did certain things in the past that I decide to do now. I've said this over and over. I cannot tell you how many things I've deleted. I have deleted so many videos that I have made. And you can only be in the present. You can only live in the present moment. What are you going to do to get rid of those old ways of being? Over the years, I've made a lot of videos. I put in a lot of time, effort, energy into them. And guess what? I deleted them. Down the drain they went. Because I was compulsive and I wanted change and I wanted to start something new and I didn't care. But now I do care. And making videos and putting them as private and unlisted is just, how are those videos any different than the thousands of videos I've deleted? So I don't want to use my time, breath, and energy for videos that I make private and unlisted because I feel uncomfortable about sharing them. I'm not going to hold back anymore. And I also don't want to delete anything anymore. I just don't like deleting stuff. I really don't like deleting what I have done. Because deleting is denial. Deleting is denying that you even did it in the first place. So I would rather at this point have it be there and be imperfect and just be perfectly imperfect as, real. And I didn't delete that because if you're deleting the actual thing, you might as well delete the memory of it too. Just leave it there as is. As, okay, this is what I've done. This is how it was. I'm going to do better in the future. But I want this to symbolize me as an imperfect and ever-growing human being. And so I will not publish a video to my channel ever again that I will delete. What is the point of publishing something if you're going to delete it? How can you trust content creators if they put something up on their channel and they delete it? And so some videos that you make and you put the time, effort, and energy into are private and unlisted, and others public. Well, that would have worked, save for all the unlisted private videos that I've deleted. And now I get this feeling like I need to make up what I have deleted, all the thousands of videos I've deleted from the past. So talking about this full moon, full moons are endings. Full moons are culminations. You see things more clearly. You see things more holistically, more wholly, and you come face to face with fears, limitations, emotional issues, belief systems, ways of being. You come face to face with what you have done. It's also a great time for the full moon to clean up anything, to clean up, to organize your life and see what, you need, what you can have, what you still want, and what you want to get rid of and let go of during the full moon. It's also great for that. It's also wonderful for that. And it's an endings. What are you ready to end? I know of somebody, and I'm not going to name who they are, who has a negative, unhealthy habit pattern of smoking. And this person is not going to give that up. and I'm not going to smoke, I'm not going to start drinking, but let's not limit habit patterns and addictions to those two things alone. Now, to grow, to change, to become better will not be easy. If you are feeding negative habit patterns of, continuing to wash your hands or continuing to need to clean things, for instance, or need to have things a certain way or sterile or etc., that need for things to be clean and for things to be a certain way, releasing that and letting that go is not going to be easy. It may be very uncomfortable when you may feel like, oh, my shirt's dirty, my clothes are dirty, my hands are dirty, I need to wash them, my computer is dirty, I need to clean it. I could go on and on the list. And it may not be comfortable, but it is really worth. I have really gotten to the point now where it is worth having short-term discomfort for long-term gain. I really have a desire and a craving to approach my life in a different way and to see it from a much more abundant perspective, but much more stable, grounded perspective, where my abundance and feeling of gratitude and excitement, enthusiasm, and contentment is not fragile. Something could happen and something could go wrong, but I can recognize what is and isn't a big deal, what is and isn't a problem. Not to be, throwing things around and not caring. But I am really working on being less compulsive over certain things. I'm working on that. And I have been feeling sort of in a funk and rut for certain things. And, what's so interesting is, for me personally, I'm going to say it as it is. The fact that in August of 2019 and December of 2020, I fell into a very deep, I was in a funk. I was feeling really blue, very depressed, very in my head. But I could sit and I could relax into knowing that I did not need to fix or change a whole lot externally. It was all internally. And I have mastered my thoughts with that. I have learned through those periods of depression that I absolutely can just let the thoughts be there without trying to control them. Allow whatever feeling or whatever thought to just be there and let it hang out. It's not going to be perfect. Don't expect that you're not going to think about this at this time. Your mind does not have to be in a certain place. It is okay to think certain thoughts at this particular time. And have certain perceptions of those thoughts at particular times. And sometimes that will happen. So I've mastered my internal thoughts. Thinking about my teeth. I thought about how I was so obsessed and so fixated on thinking about my teeth and my teeth touching and how I pronounce my S's. And I feel like ever since I got braces, of which I have them now, I have braces on now. Ever since I got that, it's sort of been a relief because I have not been so conscious and so sensitive to those physical feelings inside my mouth. I was conscious of, the process of walking and getting so absorbed into putting one foot in front of the other, getting so obsessed of, worrying about my legs touching, etc. So these little thoughts which involve physical things, really it sort of spiraled and I got into a very depressed funk. And then now my brain is like, okay, well, you mastered the internal. Now it's time for you to master the external. My progressed Saturn has been in Virgo for some time now. Every 7 years you have your progressed Saturn. So my Saturn is in Cancer in my natal chart, my Saturn placement. Saturn rules over discipline. It rules over structure. It is an area of life that you have to work at. It is not an easy area. It is very challenging. It requires you to persist, you to commit, and you to be hard-nosed and focused and determined in your approach that I am not going to give up. And I'm going to do these things again for long-term gain. So Saturn is a cold and malefic energy, but when you put in the work, Saturn eases off its pressure boiler, probably, and it becomes easier, where a lot of profound lessons can be gained through that hard work. And I am going to face the reality that in order to change and grow for certain things, it will require hard work to not feed into the same habit patterns and the same ways of doing things. That's going to be huge. So the progressed Saturn takes about 7 years to be in a sign. So for 7 years it was in Cancer. From age 7 to 14, my progressed Saturn was in Leo, which I'd rather be dealing with those issues right about now. When my progressed Saturn moved into Leo, I was much more loud, flamboyant, dramatic. I like to shout, scream, play drama. I was very creative. I was very enthusiastic, excited, fiery, energized, very bold, and liking a lot of fun and joy. But then the issues were more relational. When it came to that was when I was going through growing pains of misbehaving and all those kind of things like that. However, then it entered Virgo, and then Virgo is about being very detail oriented, about being very concerned with the physical environment and how am I maintaining that environment, how am I keeping up that environment. Virgo wants to make sure that everything is in its place, everything is pristine, that I'm in control of my environment, and wants things to be perfect. Now, Virgo has a very high-strung nervous system, where if something is not right, if a detail is off, if there is an issue that comes up, it can get nervous and it can get sort of frantic and there's a stress level with Virgo, and it feels the need to fix the particular issues that come up in the environment. So there is this lesson around self-acceptance with Virgo, being in the present moment, getting grounded, doing things where you are accepting yourself, accepting your faults, accepting the past of what you've done, being present, and just moving forward. And also going through your list of all the things that you need to get done, but allowing yourself the time to be able to do that so that you're not rushed. So there's so many ways that the Virgo lessons can show up. But Virgo is a sign that can be very critical, very hard on themselves for not getting something right, for not doing something a certain way. They can beat themselves up. They have a harsh, mean internal dialogue at worst. And then when they turn in on themselves, when they judge themselves, then it's easier to project that judgment externally, project that judgment onto other people. You're doing this wrong. You said this wrong. Look at you. You can't clean up your room. You're an idiot. You didn't do this correctly. All these kinds of things. Virgo can be very judgmental. And I want to say that one of the downsides of Virgo is becoming obsessive compulsive over maintaining its environment. Just that unsettled energy. Now the other high road of Virgo is self-improvement, not perfectionism. There was this video I was watching. It was from an astrologer that I was watching. Why perfectionism is actually a good thing, and this astrologer was talking about perfectionism and taking a positive spin on it, and talking about it in a very detailed, in-depth, well-crafted way. However, this astrologer was talking about self-improvement. How can I better myself? How can I do something different in the future? How can I make the progress and make the gains to change, to grow, to improve my life, to improve my day-to-day activities, my habits, my well-being, my health, my outlook on life? Whatever it is. But no, perfectionism, I don't see how that's a good thing. That leads to a sense of not enoughness. But self-improvement is a positive thing. The other thing that I wanted to say here is that I'm going to be away for some time, from July 6th through July 14th. I'm going to be on vacation with my family. We're going to be going to Chicago for a wedding, my cousin's wedding, and we're also going to be staying in a cabin for a couple of days, going somewhere else. And I'm not quite sure about those details just yet. And I'm excited about that vacation, but I am also nervous and anxious about it. I am nervous and anxious that things are going to come up, issues are going to come up that may be overwhelming, that may put me at a state where, there is a frantic, stress, guilty, discomfort there. But I am fully prepared for those issues, and I am fully prepared to be as uncomfortable as it takes for me to be happy, present, to grow, and to do something different. Because, when you keep doing the same things over and over again, you're just not going to grow. You are not going to grow. You're not going to change. You're not going to get better. If you continue to feed those old patterns and feed that old hamster wheel, you're not going to get better. You're not going to be truly happy. You're not going to feel a sense of growth or gain or newness or purpose or, all those kind of things like that. All those really meaningful things that you want in your life. I'm going to do something different, and this may be uncomfortable. My mind may go to emergency brake because it is discomfort of what I am facing right now because I'm trying to, this is just general, trying to break a habit pattern. Exposing yourself to this and going through that discomfort, going through the pain, going through the insecurity and understanding and trusting that this is better for you now. This is the way to something better. It's also a great time to look at what are you not doing in your life? Where are you not literally saying that you're going to do something and doing it? And saying that you're going to do something and not doing it? Where are you not stepping up to the plate? As I said before, balancing an area of your life. Balancing, okay, well, guess what? I have this thing that I'm so preoccupied and consumed with, but guess what? I actually need to do this thing over here. I actually need to exercise more. It would be good for me to read more. It would be good for me to practice for my driver's ed test. Maybe I should write a book, although I'm not going to go back to an old story. I'll just leave it in the past because there's this novel that I started writing, and there's a part of me that wants to go back to it and finish it, but I've decided to leave it in the past and let it go. There's books that I started reading and didn't finish, but I decided to just let that be in the past. Leave those things behind, not worry about them now. I also think that the where maybe you're not balancing enough of a spiritual practice. I have several decks of oracle cards that I really want to take out and start using. I really am going to plan on doing more meditation, getting outside in nature, trying to balance out watching videos, spending time on social media, doing all those kind of things, while balancing out taking care of my body more, brushing my teeth more diligently, valuing certain things, sleep more, valuing sleep more, all these kind of things. And the other thing that I want to leave you with is, the moon in Capricorn comes in with this internal sense of, I need to work. There's this goal that it has its eyes on, and it's always about a goal. Moon in Capricorn needs to have a goal, needs to have something that it can achieve in a material way, and it feels like it needs to achieve something. Moon in Capricorn can really slip into workaholic tendencies of, I need to work harder. I'm not good enough. And so, it's okay not to have everything, taken care of now. It's okay not to, put the work in at this time, but as long as you, say that you're doing it. And when you fall into those past patterns and those past ways of being, then just instead of judging yourself, turning in on yourself, being very hard and critical and mean to yourself, just realize, okay, well, guess what? Guess what? I fell back into this habit pattern. Guess what? I'm going to reroute myself. I'm going to just put myself right back on the track that I should be going on. I'm going to get my ship back on sail to the second star. I'm trying to go towards London. I'm trying to fly towards the second star, and I'm going to reroute my ship back around. And healing is not linear. You gain a little, you grow a little, and then you fall back. So it's really the other piece of this is having the other piece is having compassion for yourself. When you fall back to the old ways of being and understanding, and being patient with yourself. That's another important thing. Being kind to yourself. And being gentle with yourself is also super important. Noticing when you do something that is obsessive compulsive and reroute it. I also think taking a breath, counting to 10, calming your nervous system down, and approaching your life in a non-compulsive way instead of, oh, I need to fix this. Okay, well, I allow myself to fix this, but I'm not going to be compulsive about it. And guess what? It's not a big deal. I don't need to fix this or change this. It's fine as it is. I can deal with it. That's another thing too. I also think calling out this habit pattern. I fell into this again. Recognizing when that happens. Speaking to it out loud. And then changing and continuing to grow. So, Capricorn really demands that you grow and do the work. And this full moon, just like Saturn retrograde, could really reveal where you have not done the work, where you're not committed to the things that you said that you were going to commit to, the goals that you thought that you commit to, maybe things that you started that you didn't finish, maybe not having enough discipline and persistence in those goals. This could be a profound time of realization and wisdom coming to the surface. You're ending procrastination, ending being stuck in the old ways of being, maybe ending laziness. Who knows how the full moon could show up for you. How am I going to use what I am feeling in my internal emotions and my emotional needs or obsessive compulsive needs, just emotional needs, Cancer, in a constructive, productive, and realistic, applicable way? Capricorn. How am I going to act responsibly on the emotions that I'm going to feel? Where do I need to get serious and be realistic, be logical, and be down to earth? So yeah, it's definitely something, and be sort of the father figure in my life. Go out, make money, do the hard work. Because Capricorn, I want to say that this sign rules over sort of the patriarchy, or the father, the stereotypical father who goes out, makes the money, etc., goes to the job. The mother stays home, cooks, cleans, takes care of the families. More mothering, more nurturing, more feminine, more caring for you on an emotional level. Are you providing for yourself? Are you providing for your physical needs? Are you taking care of your physical needs? Are you taking care of the physical world and doing the things in the physical world for the long term? So those are just some thoughts that I have for tonight. And I'm going to get off this live stream because I'm not going to devalue and deny myself getting to bed earlier and starting earlier and getting the sleep that I need for other things like that. Other things that are not, I'm just going to say it, probably more valuable, more important on that realistic, practical level. So anyway, that was enough chatting. A couple quick announcements. The video on the South Node in Libra and North Node in Aries will be premiering tomorrow at 10 o'clock, so make sure you turn on your notifications for that. This is going to be a huge transit. I highly recommend watching Owning Authenticity. She has done several videos, gone so in depth into the North Node in Aries, South Node in Libra transit. If you want the deep dive into this transit, I highly recommend watching her videos to understand it at a deeper, more profound, more spiritual level. And she does get very personal and real and raw and authentic in those videos. So there's so much there. If you want to check those out, just find Owning Authenticity under the list of astrologers I have on the homepage of my channel. You can also type in on YouTube Owning Authenticity and find the channel, or click on filter, click channel, and you should find that channel. And then when you click on Owning Authenticity, go to playlists, and then you'll find North Node, a playlist that's entitled North Node Transit or something like that. And you'll find a series of videos on the North Node in Aries and South Node in Libra transit. I am also working through the nodal series, the South Node and North Node through the signs, and I still have Sagittarius South Node, Gemini North Node, Capricorn South Node, Cancer North Node, and Aquarius South Node and Leo North Node left to film. So I will definitely be keeping up with that. I will be posting probably on my Instagram and Facebook stories while I'm on the trip, maybe making posts while I'm on vacation, who knows, but as not to let social media consume the trip, my vacation, but I may be showing footage of that trip on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube here in the community tab as well. So keep an eye out for that. And then the final announcement is tune in for the videos of the moon and whatever sign it is in for every couple of days. The moon transits through a sign every 2 to 3 days, so I have videos all about where I talk about the moon for about 3 minutes long under a time limit, where I talk about the lunar transit in Capricorn or Aquarius, and, what that means, the ideas that I have for that lunar transit. So definitely check those videos out. The other small announcement that I have is I also filmed the weekly astrology video for the week of July 9th through 15th. And the next time I do a weekly astrology video, it's going to be on the day that it's going to be on July 15th. It'll be a live stream. I'll be talking about the nodes moving into areas in the Libra, Venus going retrograde in Leo. I have a whole nother video about Venus and Leo. It's super in-depth, so you can check that out on my channel. Just type in my name and then put Venus and Leo, and you should find a couple videos about it. One video is Venus and Leo, and I put the dates of the transit, and that's the video where I go into the meat and juice and information and details about the transit. And then another video which I talk about more of my thoughts, personal insights and thoughts on Venus in the sign of Leo. So that's it for tonight, everybody, and I'll catch you another time. Bye.